Hello my friends and welcome to my channel. I'm Kate in the Nest and this is always one of my most favorite videos to make. So I hope you are well, and I am sure that you realize, like me, that it is time to talk about the month of September. I always want to applaud. In fact, I'm going to. Because the month of September is the change of season, which is significant after, um, summer into autumn, winter into spring. I think it's the most noticeable. So it's a time of change, a time of evolution, and all sorts of things. So for us in our KiN season 2, it's time for our third prompt. We did July, August, and September. Now you might remember that I called this season the season of the bowerbirds. So we've been making nests, we made letters, and now it's time for the big reveal. So I hope just settle down in for a story, because you know me and stories. I want to tell you how I got here and what we're going to do. And as always, you don't have to do it. You may be all over this, but for me, it's part of the storytelling. So I have this book here, and I've been reading a lot and collecting, as I always do. I love beautiful books. And this page particularly, I'm going to give you hints all the way through, okay? This page is a favorite one because it was teaching me about the language of flowers and how there was things called a tussie-mussy, or I have heard of a nosegay, and it's a bouquet of herbs and flowers, a posy and a sentiment. So these were given, and there's particular herbs that mean things, and here's the meanings of the flowers. And I did not know about the meanings of those flowers, and of course we've talked about many of these before. So that's a little part of the story. Then in the same book I found some information on bird law, and I'm not expecting you to be able to read this, but this image, again, completely different colors, it's just so beautifully presented. It talks about the association of a bird with a particular color. So for example, you probably know this, but I did not know. And I love these pictures, by the way, bowerbird pictures, aren't they? Swallow is said to carry two precious jewels, a black one for good luck and a red stone that has the power to cure insanity. The cuckoo went to live in a fairy hill each winter, or transformed himself into a hawk. A blackbird building a nest on your home is considered good luck. Now I'm going to be looking out the windows, but I don't know whether we have blackbirds. We have crows. Are they the same thing? See, still so much to learn. But this one I loved. Robin, whatever kindness that one shows a robin will be returned. So, love that page. And this reminds me of our little budgie, we called them, that we had when I was growing up, and I had to buy multiple ones for my daughter as she was growing up, because literally, I won't go, but falling off the perch was something that we became unfortunately used to. Okay, that's 2 pages, and third page is this piece of art. It's an installation hanging from a ceiling. It's actually a chandelier, and this resonated with me because look at the beauty of that. It is art. We've got all my favorite things: flowers, branches, twigs, crystals, lights, as in crystal baubles, and then a bird. And on it here are hanging all sorts. There's a ring, a shell, and just epitomized for me, just absolute beauty. And that's what I do. I hope I make when I play in my nest, and certainly as part of getting to know you, it has been my joy. So that's my book reading. I've been working on this piece, which you won't have seen, but my favorite bit of it is, if I bring you up, is this little creature here. It's off fabric, and if it's, I hope it's obvious it's a bird. If it's not, I am not doing my job. But there is that bird sitting in her storyland. You'll hear more about this piece later on, but I'm giving you a sneak preview of that because if you've been following me since last year, you'll know this piece is significant. So my friends, the prompt for September is the bower bird, with the absolute emphasis on bird. So last year when I was doing the Roxy's challenge in the season, could not make a bird. So this is what I did. I made a funny shape and I put a bird on it. Here I stem stitched around and put a bead, so I was making progress. But I have always loved birds and be surrounded by them. So let's go into the bower, into the nest. And one of my treasured things, and you know about my mum, is my mum bought me this little enamel bird home 50 years ago when she went to China, before it was even what they called opened up. And that has traveled to every home with me, and I just adore. And she's got a gold beak, a black eye, and all these beautiful colors all over her. So that's been in my collection. When I did the workshop, or Chris, which one was it? Was it the Roxy's or Fleur? Chris made us all bird pincushions. I admire her stitching so much, and I particularly love this bird because it is it's 3D. It has my favorite things like fringes on it, multicolor, and a beautiful little beak. So 2 of those in my collection. And then of course I've been attracted to crochet birds, I realize. So this is the infamous swan that is carrying a needle for me, which I might put into my needle book right now, that I got on the Country Oppie tour. And while she may look like a serpent, she just, I've loved, you know that, she's on my bags, she's everywhere. And then I was gifted by Rachel from Italy this beautiful doily with 3 swans on it. So we are going to make, well, I'm going to, and I hope at some point in the month you might have a think about this and think about birds and how you like to use them in your art making. And I say art making because I'm not going to call it craft essentially anymore, because when we make, we put hours and hours of time into things. So I want to extend my ability to make birds. And yes, they may be biased towards swans, but we need more birds for our nests. So while I'm on crochet, I wanted to show you, and I need something dark behind this. It isn't very dark, is it? Let's get a doily here. Let's put this amongst the beautiful butterflies and flowers. Can you see which way should she go? The bird in here. Yes, because actually the further away you get, and then the closer up. So I have a pattern for a number of birds in filigree. So I'm going to share how to make filigree crochet. We might do it in a slightly more contemporary way and faster, but we will see. So again, it's really quite easy when you understand. And I was just saying to my husband, this time next week I will just about be rounding up my contemporary crochet workshop at the Green Door. So I'm thinking all things crochet right now, actually, and can't wait to get doing this sort of work. So I'm using the bowerbird as an opportunity to do some of that style. Okay, is that my crocheted bits? Yep. The other thing, many of us have been collecting bird doilies. They are as scarce now, and the birds that I have, I'm using in my pieces, quilts. And so as part of this month, I really want to tackle how we honour and celebrate birds in embroidery. So I need to fix this one and really make her shine and sing. So that's part of what I will be continuing to work on. And then, because I've been through my collection, all I have left that I can find, there might be others buried, are this collection of lyrebird doilies. And this has not been stitched. I don't know what people did this. Is it paint? I'm not sure. But I love this okay, use the word, trim the shells on the side. I have 2 of these, and so I was thinking that I might embellish and adorn one of these so that it, the lyrebird is similar, I think, in shape to the bowerbird. And yeah, so that's the plan. And I just hope by sharing what's in my crazy mind, you get some ideas. Okay, I am quirky, you know that. And I have been blessed to have been given some fabrics that have swans on them. You've seen me use this one in a little needlebook, which is over in the other room. So I've used those before. I think I can extend my technique and start embroidering these freeform on another piece. I also have this fabric here, which I think I bought off Beck. Would I? No, I don't know. No, I just off Etsy, that's right. And there's the pink swan with flowers. And so far I have made one of her. And she's been going to go to live on a couple of my tablecloths, quilts so far, but she hasn't found a home. So I'm looking at this piece, and this was the first time I'd stem stitched all around, and look, I didn't know what to do. So I hope it's okay I share my vulnerabilities. Well, they're not vulnerable. It's just me being honest, authentic. Um, I've unpicked that a couple of times. So they're very shark's teethy, aren't they? And her beak is coming off. So I need to stitch that. But see, I wasn't game to embroider. So that brings me to what I have done to help me get more proficient at birds. I should have looked up the name of this company. I think it's similar to the one that KiN gets her rabbits from. I'm not sure. It's got hair in it. I'll link it below. But this was a kit I bought where the birds are very quirky. And I've seen a lot of people make birds on YouTube, and a lot of them are quirky, and a lot of them are, 3D, 2D, embroidered, collaged with fabric. And I thought, well, I can practice. So far, now this is K Quirky, because I looked at the material they gave me in the kit, and I did not, it wasn't me. I'm a bit embarrassed. Are you ready? Here's my first one. I think she actually looks a bit like a Kiwi from New Zealand. I'll bring her up close. Haven't trimmed. So I outlined the bird and put little bits, you'll recognize the fabrics, and then I've started to embellish over the top. So I suppose it's also about just playing. I want to play with different ways to make birds. And my end goal is so that I can incorporate them into my collages more easily. And that doesn't mean that these will necessarily go, these are samples. But as well, I don't want to waste my time. So this can go on a quirky project. Okay, so that was the first one. Now these birds have got personality. And so you can see by the drawings that there's lots of ideas, and I thought for the shapes as well, it was just good for me to have a reference point. Okay, I feel that we need to name this next little person, where I'll put her up there, and into my life comes this one. Now she's a bit puckery because I'm still learning, because this is not on blanket. I should have ironed, sorry everyone, but here she is. It's an abstract bird, of course, but she does have an eye and a beak, 2 legs. These could be folded wings. This is a piece of Liberty actually underneath it, which shows I spare nothing. It was a scrap, and it was a tulip, that's right. So see, I've got a story even about the scraps. But, you know, if I played here, I could, you know, make a little story, a little book for a little person. Actually, I do know some little people. So I know Karen from Railway Cottage has made a little ABC book. Maybe I could make a birdie book. And if nothing else, just make people laugh and try and say who's the crazy lady that made those. Okay, so that is a bought kit, and I think I need to be honest to say that I haven't bought many kits or done many realistic workshops, but you know, I feel I'm learning. Okay, so the big ta-da message is, you would know that I have fallen in love with beading. And this bird, I wasn't game to bead. This is like a bit of the Hearts and Flowers course that I'm teaching in Melbourne, where it will anyway, you don't need to know about that. If you want more info, it's on my website. But storytelling, that can become any sort of piece. So, are you ready? I bought some birds for my wearables. And these are the first things that I've ever ironed onto this stuff. Well, actually, that kit supplied its own, what's it called? It's not wadding, interface, is it? And I bought this by mistake because it wasn't what I wanted. However, it has been helpful in providing backing. Let's get all my birds in a row over here. The swans are flopping around. Let's have a little party and check out. If you've got a bird collection, this is a good month, isn't it? I saw, I watched Pam from Pandora's Junk Journals today, and she was excited that the birds are coming home in the fall in California where she lives. So we're going to have baby birds here in Australia. So that's why I saved it for September. Okay, so I've got those. I've got some of them stitched onto some shirts that I've been wearing. But again, this is Kate revealing all. My pride and joy is, she's flying in now. This is my first, I'll put a distance. This bird is beaded. It's a beaded bird. And I absolutely love her. Now, you probably can't see her eye because I'm learning. But I've taken, well, number one, I found I didn't have any blue beads. So it couldn't be a blue bird. I have got a little eye there with a French knot. That probably needs to be bigger. In fact, if I pull, it probably becomes more noticeable. But I have tried to be disciplined and learn at the same time about how to use my, remember I told you I can't do lines and I can't do all of the one colour. So I've got pearl ones here and stacked them so I could get a 3D. Then this is just out of a cheap beading box from Kmart, literally $4.95 on special maybe. So nothing exotic here, and mix these stone ones. And as I said, I didn't have any blue, so this is a mixture of this steely grey and black, and then I stitched. But I forgot to stitch her feet. So that's my first beaded bird. Of course, this will get trimmed and go onto another piece. I haven't got anything the right colour to put her on, actually. Oh, don't need that heart there. Just so you can see the direction. If that was all trimmed off on a larger collage, I don't know where she'd go, but, you know, imagine my big quilt or something like that. And so imagine your pieces. Okay, so that one can go away. That birdie there. So where to next? I have started on this one, which is got way more blue than that one. But I'm going to see if I can turn it pink. Is that crazy? So I'm thinking I'm going to use what I've already learned from here. Put some more creamy, not the pearl whites here, and perhaps put the blues as shades of pink, because then that would, you know, I could have, you know, a bird on my heart or something, who knows. But see, the colours don't go at the moment. So I've got plenty of birds. They can all have a party. but I don't need a lot of these colors, so I'm going to learn. I could also be painting. In fact, that just, see, talking to you always helps. Have I asked how you were? I think I did at the beginning. I so hope, because yeah, I've been rattling on, but that's learning. These are big birds, and so again, I want to experiment. I want to stitch some as well, which would be easier probably than beading, but they're the two so far. And I've got this one. Oh, pause for a breath, Kate. So I'm hoping that oh, I'm sorry I laugh so much. What am I hoping? I'm hoping that something about this month will, if not to make, cause you to appreciate the birds, and build your bower on, even if you're, I imagine you might be using them on other projects at the moment, but yeah, build your nest. Tuck that little one in. It's come all the way from China. Wouldn't be, oh, I'll put those nicer swans there. Can you see that that's a bird? And we're right back to the beginning of the story, where this little birdie here was the inspiration for my whole month of spring project. So what else do I need to tell you? If you want to share your work, that's what the KiN Facebook group is all about, or get inspiration. I'll link that below. It's growing, and thank you to Terry who started that off. And I like it because everyone talks to each other, even if I'm there or not. And it's also a fantastic place to share your oppie shopping or your thrifting. And I think this is the perfect month that we could share our love of birds, or maybe we don't like birds, but just, I was always scared of that Hitchcock movie, The Birds. So it looks like I'm over that now. So do that. Tomorrow I'm releasing my newsletter, number 3, and it's Flying from the Nest. And I'll be talking about some more about the resources and inspirations and about this prompt. And you can sign up for that through my newsletter. So that is it. So I feel like doing Lovely Tina from Shabby Dabby Doodah always goes like this, with excitement, and that is my true excitement. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon, and I'm going to stay in my nest and play with my bird beading. Until next time, have fun. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.